welcome to this special episode of Urban Facts. We will be discussing college life from three experienced individuals who have, through the test of time, gone through college or they are presently enrolled in college themselves. So we're going to share that with you guys. I hope this will be an enlightful experience and you can learn something, from this event. So we're going to jump right into it. So hold on, give me a second here. I swear I need somebody to do these little extra little graphic things for me. So let's see here. My co-host wasn't available. Probably forgot to tell her. So you could just charge that to my mind. See if I can show these guys a picture here. So I want to pull up the picture of the guest. Should have had that ready. And here we go. So here we go right there. So our guests today are Ms. Jada Smith, Ms. Amaya Monet Parker, and Mr. A.J. Evans. So before I bring them on, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of information in regards to college itself, if that's okay with you guys. So for a lot of individuals, college can be a very scary experience. It could be some ups and downs, some things you might not be sure about, but we just want to give you guys the reassurance that it can work out. So we're going to look at some statistics. This is a statistic done by Miss Melody Hanson back for the fall of 2021. College enrollment totaled 15.44 million undergrad students nationwide in the fall of 2021, a 21% decline year over year. So what they're saying is that 2020 had a decline, 2029 had a decline. This is nationwide though, so it's not just like Philadelphia, Rochester, or whatever like that. So the number of total enrolled post-secondary, so that's a graduate college, students declined by 4.9% from 2019 to 2021, the most significant rate of decline in enrollment since 1951. So I guess the positive insight on that is that people have been going to college since 1951. I mean, it's not a real bad decline, but, things in life do happen. So you expect some things like that to either go up or go down. 17% of all post-secondary students are in graduate programs. Primarily, data indicates that the total post-secondary enrollment in spring 2022 fell to 16.2 million. This would be a 14.7% decline from the fall of 2020. And if you look at this historical college enrollment graph, the numbers at the top are both undergrad and grad put together, and the numbers at the bottom, this is the grad level. What I want you guys to see is that this line right here, this is normally people that are just getting bachelor's degrees. This line right here is master's degrees and doctorate degrees. So that's the second, that's the graduate school level. what these students, what these young people are going to show you today is that you also can be within either the bachelor's degree level or the graduate degree level. Um, I always encourage students to go for a graduate degree. It's for one, it brings you more money. So let's just say that. And then for two, it gives you more expertise in the area that you're studying. So I have a master's degree in psychology. If I would have just had a bachelor's degree in psychology, I wouldn't know the depth of information in the realm of psychology that I do with the master's degree. And if I would have went further and got a doctoral degree, that would also give me more insight to that field. So this is why I thought it was very important to bring them on so that they can discuss with you. First topic is, what to prepare for coming out of high school. Second topic will be financial aid, school selection, studying abroad, and then college life. And I didn't think it was robbery to bring in experienced people that have done the work and are doing the work so that you yourself can see that this can be for you. Now, I'm 48. I'm about to start school again in the 26th of this month. So that's just telling you it's no age requirement for this. So we got people that are from, the speakers range from 19. I think Jada says she's 25, I believe it. She can tell you when she comes. Yeah, she's shaking her head, yeah. So praise the Lord. Um, so yeah, so it's definitely for you. The only reason why college wouldn't be for you is if you tell yourself that. Now, it's a variety of folks that say, well, um, I may not have the money. That's true. You may not have the money. And college can be very expensive. But just because you don't have the money, that don't mean that you still don't deserve to go, because it's things like financial aid, you can do loans. Now let me walk that back a little bit so that you can understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying by you don't have the money is that your family personally can't afford to send you to college. Like they pay you, like your family is paying for your tuition out of pocket. Now there's other folks that have loans, grants, scholarships, things like that. And these individuals are going to talk about those subjects, what you got to do before you go to college, coming out of high school, what you do while you're in college life, studying abroad, because I want you guys to get the whole college experience. Now, they're not going to give you everything in an hour because it's only an hour. And this is only from 3 points of perspective. And you won't get mine. You're going to just get theirs. So I'll moderate, I'll ask them questions, and then each one of them will give you their answer. So without further ado, we're going to start bringing on the guests now. So, and I'm going to, bring them on and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll go from there. So our first guest is no other than Jada Smith.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jada Smith. I am currently 25 years old, so you're right on that. I attended the university called Clarion University, which is known as Penn West at the moment. My two degrees, my undergrad is in psychology, and my master's is in clinical mental health counseling, which now I am a mental health therapist. And I also am the CEO and founder of a nonprofit called SWAG, which is Scholars with Athletic, Academic, and Artistic Goals. And that's just a little bit about me.
All right. So here's our number two speaker, Miss Amaya Monet Parker.
My name is Amaya Monet. I'm an upcoming sophomore, incoming sophomore at George Mason University. Um, yeah, I'm 19.
All right. So here's our last speaker, Mr. AJ Evans.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alfonso Evans Jr. I am a sophomore music business major, jazz voice minor, studying at Howard University. And I just am excited to talk to you all today and give you insight on the college experience.
All right. So, first question. As a high school student going into high school, so you just going in, you're a freshman. Should you start preparing for college at your freshman year, or should you start preparing at your senior year? Jada.
I think you should start preparing as you're entering high school. It's all going to be a part of the journey to be able to select the school that you want. Your ninth grade matters. So that's why I say the start is important, just as well as the finish, but the start is going to play a part. So, yes, going in, um, being aware of yourself, understanding where you want to go. And even if you don't know the university exactly, but you just have the hope of wanting to, um, I think it's important to have that on the forefront of your focus. And that helps you to stay motivated to do well and to be active in the community where you're at in high school, and those things.
Amaya.
I would say, yeah. I think a lot of people think, I wouldn't say like make it your main focus, like stress out about it, but a lot of people think that freshman year doesn't matter, and it does. There was a myth going around that they only look at junior year. That's a big lie. So, yeah.
And Alfonso.
I definitely feel like you should start to look at colleges as you enter the freshman year. You will be able to have opportunities to go to different colleges and see what they offer. The internet is at your fingertips now, so it's very easy to find what these colleges offer. But you don't have to rush anything. You don't have to feel like you're obligated to know where you are going and everything that you're doing in your freshman year. But as you set a foundation for your own self and set goals for your own self, you'll be able to realize, okay, by my junior year, I want to visit these five schools. And once uh, do these five schools, I'll have an idea of where I want to go for my senior year. So I feel like being able to have goals for yourself set will allow you to ultimately know where you personally want to go and if college is for you.
Okay. So now you are, you're freshman. So now this is your last year. You're a senior. What is the preparation for the student at this particular mark in high school, Jada?
So I didn't say this in my introduction, but I also was a basketball player. So my experience may vary from the other two, but I will say so by my senior year, go back in September, I say by October, I already knew where I was going to school because you sign a national letter of intent, basically signing off and sending everything in as in your transcripts and everything. So pretty much everything is set for you at that point. So my senior year, I got to enjoy it because I kind of already knew where I was going, and that was by my 11th grade year. Kind of, I talked to college coaches and stuff like that. The process is a little bit different. So you talk to college coaches, you have to have certain grades and criteria for the university itself, and then you kind of know, early in advance if it is your opportunity to go play, not professionally, collegiately. Um, so that's kind of how it went from my senior year. I'll say I knew where I wanted to go. I actually started at Holy Family University first. That's where I signed my national letter of intent, and the focus was just kind of from there. I just knew I what to prepare for and work on just being and continuing to be a good student.
Now, this is just to be clear, you're speaking in regards to being active in sports.
Yes.
Go Glasgow. Okay,
So
right.
yeah, so the
And
sports,
just explain a little bit about the letter of intent, so they know what you're referring to.
I'm sorry. So the national letter of intent, it's like your commitment of saying I'm going to attend this university, and for me, I had a full ride. So you sign off on, you know, this is what I'm getting, this is what's happening, and you can't. You can sometimes in certain processes, but it would take a lot to decommit. But for the most part, you're committing yourself to that school and with that coach. Basically, you just confirmed your roster spot on their team. So that's a little bit of understanding how the senior year kind of went for me. Like you have two signing periods for a national letter of intent. I wanted to sign early just because in sports, injuries and those things happen. You kind of take the weight off your shoulder by being able to sign a little bit earlier than later. So that was my focus and my goal.
Okay, Amaya, same question. 12th grade, what is the student doing to prepare for college?
I say like, well, a lot of students were like getting ready to take their SATs and things like that. But you definitely want to, I would say like the summer of 11th grade, because before you even start 12th grade, I would say you want to have like a draft of like your college essay on like a baseline of what are you going to say exactly, and then like a list of your schools. So like each each category of a type of college or university, you want to make sure that you have at least like one or two for each, or at least like this is what I did. So then when you go to the Common App, you can find those schools and like apply, start your application. And that's something that you should, once you start the 12th grade, maybe like August or September, you kind of want to start that up, and then asking for recommendations. Um, I know for me, I had to like fix up my resume and things of that sort, because some schools ask for it, some schools don't. So it's kind of just like laying all your cards on the table, looking at everything that you have, and then making sure that you are ready. Um, I strongly advise to apply like earlier than like later, like regular decision, because it gives you like more time, well not more time, but it like takes that weight off your shoulder. And then if you don't get accepted, god forbid, but you will still have time to like rearrange and reevaluate and figure out like what are you going to do, instead of it being so late and from you hearing back from the school, you have to figure out like what am I going to do, I didn't get accepted, things like that.
Okay, AJ, same question. Senior year, how should this student prepare?
Well, I totally agree with that. I feel like you should definitely prepare your 11th grade summer. I can't stress that enough. I had the great opportunity to work with high school students who are going into 12th grade this summer at the Harcum College Upward Bound program, which was an amazing experience. But it showed me that high school students are getting ready for this college experience. And in order to get ready for the college experience, you have to do your brag sheet. So your brag sheet is basically your colleges, the list of colleges, how much they cost, all of the information about the colleges. So to have it in a separate sheet so that you can be organized. Secondly, SAT, ACT, you have to decide if you're going to send those in, because you could get scholarships for those if you decide to send those in. But after COVID and new systems, they don't require them for most of the schools anymore. So you have to be able to look at that and be able to say, okay, am I going to send them in or am I not going to send them in? And then I think finally you have to have a great college counselor. And if you don't, be able to go to somebody about it, because you can't do all of this work by yourself. Just like Jada said, everybody has a different process. My process was a little bit different as well. Like Jada said, she does basketball, so she had to do a certain process in order to get there. I sing, so I'm a music major. So I had to audition for these schools in order to get in. So I had to think about traveling. I had to think about what does auditions look like, what schools I want to audition for, and what I wanted to audition to get in. What programs do I want to audition to get in? So in terms of Howard, I first wanted to go into musical theater because I felt like it would give me an opportunity to always have somewhere to perform, be in a contemporary field, but I didn't get in for that because of the dance part of it. I wasn't able to um, uphold the standard that they had applied for that specific audition. So I had to reevaluate, like Amaya said. And that's very important. And like Amaya said, you should be able to go in and do it early so that if something happens like that, you'll be prepared to pivot. And for me, I had to pivot. I had to reevaluate my circumstance and I had to say, okay, AJ, how am I going to make this next move? How am I going to get into my dream school? So after that, I had auditioned for Berkeley College of Music and I had got in. So that gave me motivation to go back to Howard and re-audition for the music program. So I had did all my emails, I had sent them over, and I had to make sure that I did everything myself so that I could be prepared for this audition. So I got prepared for the audition and then I got in for the music business program with a jazz voice minor. So it just takes time to pivot, but at the end of the day, when you have prepared yourself over the summer, you have time and you have leeway room. So I would just urge you all to be prepared, but also get prepared during the summertime so you have that leeway room in order to know, okay, if I need to pivot, how do I pivot? And yeah.
All right. So we done got ninth grade, college on the mind, 12th grade, we getting ready. Now we talking about money. Everybody's situation is going to be different. So not only will you guys be explaining your own experience, but any information that you could give that would help somebody in regards to financial aid. So we'll start with Jada again.
I would just say once again, my experience is different. So, um, a little bit more of the process. You play. For me, I play AAU basketball. That helps you get exposed to be able to get seen by college coaches and those things. So when you are exposed playing, a coach will say, "Hey, this person I think deserves a full ride, or maybe they deserve, partial." Um, by the grace of God, I was able to receive a full ride. So when it comes to financial aid and those things, it's taken care of by the university, the coach. They go handle things if you meet certain criterias of academic, which I also was a benefit for me. They were able to give me more money academically, but mostly for basketball as well. So I don't pay for anything. I didn't pay for a book. I didn't pay for any of my classes, anything extra in my undergrad or in my master's program. So,
Now
um,
hold on for a second, because I'm gonna cut you off for a second.
sorry.
So no, you're all right. So was it due to just your academics, or was it also your athletics that helped you to get a full ride?
So my athletics and my academics came together to help me get a full ride.
Right.
But when a coach recruits you, they say, "Hey, we want to give you a full ride." Okay, so that's where it's all athletics. It's nothing else at that point.
Academic, okay.
And then they go run your transcripts and they see, okay, you can qualify for some things academically if you have that criteria. Then they'll give you some money academically as well as athletically. Now, it's kind of the same thing. Every year you sign a new contract. So if I'm not withholding my duties as a basketball player, they can change those things around. So it's a true commitment, a true thing of continuing to do well as a student, also as an athlete. And that is that's what stayed with me, as in to be able to get my undergrad and my graduate degree paid for.
AJ.
My experience in terms of financial aid, I would say, is just to be prepared, and to have a conversation. Can you all hear me? Can you all still hear me?
Yeah, you was going in a little bit.
Cool.
It's bad connection for a second.
So, okay. So I would say just to have a conversation with your family and understand where you are with it. And I think that comes with preparing during the summer. It gives you the opportunity to honestly know where you are. However, I definitely am a big supporter of scholarships. And there are so many scholarships, and there are so much money out there for students. And especially if you go to specific school, if you do specific sports, if you do specific hobbies, there is something for you. So I would say definitely look at financial aid. Talk to your family about it. Talk to your family about money and finances. Also, talk to your college counselor about finances as well so that they can help you gauge where you are. However, I definitely feel like having a support system that allows you to look at scholarships and look at other opportunities that will allow you to bring back some of that growth, bring back some of that, you know, money burden that could be hindering you in terms of your college career as well as your college expectation. So, if you have any personal questions about scholarships and or things to lessen that burden, you could definitely let me know. But there are so many, especially for us as Black students, where we can go on and apply for scholarships.
Maya.
Um, I agree with AJ. I definitely would say like make sure that you know where your family stands at, especially before getting your hopes up and wanting to go to a really expensive school. My school is expensive as heck. So it costs like 35K a semester. So that's really expensive. But I thankfully I got like scholarships and stuff. Um so yeah, I would say that make sure that you do your FAFSA application. At first it was like the sooner the better, but honestly with the results it really doesn't matter. Yeah. So just make sure that you do your FAFSA application, and something that I did, which I wish I pursued, was Questbridge, and you basically get matched with the school, and you get either a half a ride, a full ride, or about like 80 to 75% of a ride to a school, and they'll match you with a school, and like they'll give you like a list of schools that you could apply to. You can apply to those schools. They'll match you with one, and then like once you're matched, you have to further like accept or deny it. And then usually like most students, it's like based on your financial need. So most students on there get full rides, some don't. I would say if a school gives you a full ride, go there. um, Schools gave me full rides, and because I wanted to go to the school that I'm at right now, I didn't go. So I would say definitely, definitely, definitely go to the school where they are giving you the most money, because I feel like once you, it's less of an obligation or like stress on you to go and apply for scholarships and for loans. And I did apply for scholarships like on sites and stuff like that. And I would say my biggest advice for that is don't be lazy. I'm gonna be very transparent. I'm lazy. So when it comes to applying for scholarships,
Uh,
um,
Maya, I have to interrupt you. You're breaking up real bad. Try to get closer to your router. Your connection is a little weak, so you're going in pretty bad. I'm gonna just summarize what I heard you say. So she mentioned the program QuestBridge. They give partial or full rides to schools, um, and I believe it's the schools that they select for you. She did mention that she chose another route opposed to the school. that the program did, you know, choose for her. Also, don't be lazy with applying for scholarships. Everybody won't be fortunate enough to have, you know, the resources for school. So you have to start applying for scholarships. I tell kids to apply for scholarships in 10th grade, or at least look for them. And then that way you'll have a list of scholarships when the time does come up that you can just apply, opposed to looking up, you know, all over again in 12th grade. She also mentioned the fast for packet and fear. One important thing about this, when you're filling this out, make sure you're filling it out with somebody that know what they're doing. Because if you forget one step, like if you forget to apply for the state and you just get the federal, and you know the school will send you emails, and check your emails too. While you're in school, check your emails. I know it's, you know, you'll be busy studying and entertaining yourself with your friends, but you gotta check those emails, because if you didn't apply for the state and then the semester is over and then you didn't, you know, like I said, apply, then you owe thousands of dollars. So to be 18 or 19 owing thousands of dollars, that's not a comfortable feeling. So that's why I said, when you're filling out all these financial forms, anything, make sure that you have somebody that has collegiate experience. Now, I'm gonna let them finish, but parents, don't get in your feelings about this. Like, don't try to turn this ain't about that. Because you want your kids to have the best opportunity possible. And if you don't know what you're doing, then you have to be humble enough to say that, hey, we're gonna let Mr. Greg fill this out, or Miss Susie, or whoever, to make sure that your kid, you know, is on track. So we're gonna I'm gonna check and see what's going on with Amaya, and we're gonna go on to the next topic, which is school selection. And Jada, you can start with that.
When it comes to school selection, I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself, but it literally is a different process with with athletics. So because you get recruited, it's not always like I'm selecting the school. It's kind of who wants you. And you hope it's a school that you want to go to. But in the process, that's kind of how it went for me. When you get recruited, a coach is reaching out, multiple schools call, and then when it comes down to full rides and where you want to go, or who's offering the most money, or if they're whatever they're offering, if you want to go to that school. For me, I also wanted to major in neuroscience when I was going into college. So I had to make sure that whatever school I wanted to go to play, that they also had my major, because athletics was just an extra thing. It was not my bread and butter to life. So that was kind of how my journey went. I will say to anyone, choose a school that has your major. Be open to everything about a university that you choose. For me, the thing that stood out the most when I was transferring and going to Clarion University is the university's president came to sit down with me. And that was really big for me. I thought that was amazing that she took time to come to a restaurant just to get to know me. That means something to me, because a university is big, but a president taking the time to know you and know your name means more to me. I also think when you go to a new school, you should look at someone on that campus, or anyone that you can be inspired by. And that was something for me that I also think is important. When I was in high school at Mary Mercy, and then even in Clarion, the university president at that time, Dr. Dell, she was an inspiration to me, to be a woman that was running a whole university. Although that wasn't my goal of life, I just wanted to know that was something that I could obtain as well if I wanted to, and have that advice from. So I think just when you're deciding the school, make sure it makes sense for you. They say you get an at-home feeling. That is a feeling. It's real. But if you don't feel exactly that, just feel comfortable that you can thrive and that you have the support. The community is extremely supportive where I went to school. I think that's important. And just be open to see everything. Know what you want. I think that's real. Know what you want and know that it's possible to get it. Like don't just settle, because when you settle, you're not going to be happy, and it's a hard 4 years. It can be fun, but it's a hard 4 years. So you want the support, the community, and to be comfortable that you can, do it, and you have the support if you're having those hard days and when you feel like you can't.
All right. It seemed like we getting a bad connection from you too, Jada. I'm not sure
Oh
what's happening.
no.
We gonna keep moving through though. So, Alfonso, uh, you up next, and this is in regards to, well, you kind of covered the school selection when you were talking about 12th grade. So we're gonna go to Amaya left, so we can't do the study it abroad. College life. So gives your experience in regards to college life.
Well, I can give a little bit about both. In terms of college selection, I feel like it's important to definitely know why you are applying to that college, know why you want to go to that college. My why Howard story actually happened at the HU versus Morehouse game, where I actually got a chance to see my top two schools play football against one another. So that was kind of my driving moment to where I was like, okay, I want to go to Howard because I was able to see the Howard students in the tent. There was a DJ playing, music. There were people dancing. There were people, having a great time. And for me personally, I got the opportunity to sing and I got the opportunity to do karaoke at the actual event. This gave me the opportunity to really show my talents, but also to see that I had a supportive system around me to help me out throughout college, but also a fun place to be around, somewhere that was going to cultivate my greatness. So that was my why Howard story, and I really wanted to be at a HBCU. That was one of my driving factors in terms of my college experience, and you have to know that for yourself. I went to a predominantly white institution for high school, so I definitely wanted to be in a place where it represented me well as a black man, and that for me was a HBCU. So I was continuing to look at HBCUs, but Howard was that driving factor for me because of their music program. The Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts truly gave me the ambition and the drive to complete my goals and to um, sort of grow in what I wanted to do. One of my professors always says that this is a decision, and you have to make the irrevocable decision to be able to stay in this major, but not only stay in the major, but to complete the goals and the gifts that God has given you. So I would just say go out, don't be afraid. If you have the opportunity to go to your dream school, I feel like you should definitely do that because you get a different feeling when it's a place that you want to be. Um, and my parents just dropped me off yesterday, but I love them dearly. But when you know that this is a place that you want to be, you get joy being here. So I definitely feel like go to a place where you want to be personally if you have the opportunity to do so. In terms of college life, I'm at an HBCU, so everybody's experience might be a little different, but for my experience, there's always going to be a party. There's always going to be something going on, something on the yard. The freshmen are back now, so they're doing movie nights. They're doing parties on the yard, parties in the valley. So it's always something going on. It's always something fun going on. Homecoming is something that I love personally. Homecoming is when all of the alumni come back and they give it. There's a space for the alumni, but also the students to network. There's always going to be that homecoming game. There's always going to be that tailgate, and there's always going to be, you know, the homecoming. What is it called? Concert. So there's always going to be artists that come out, your favorite rap artists, your favorite singers, songwriters come out, and we all have a great time. That's the best time to put on a drip. It's the best time to dress, put it on for the one time. But that's something that I truly am excited for this year. And then you also got Springfest. Springfest is like the homecoming for the students, though. So the students get an opportunity to go to another concert, get free merch, go to different events. And that's pretty much the college life for me. Just do what you want to do. Don't ever um, fold for anyone. Don't ever go against the grain with what your mind is telling you to do. There's always going to be opportunities to go to parties, but if you got an 8 a.m., don't go to that party. It's not worth it. It's always going to be another party the next day. It's okay. You can miss that one party. But personally, for me, I've learned how to manage both sides of it. And I just genuinely feel like once you start to learn how to manage your college life, you'll have the opportunity to figure out, okay, maybe tonight I will go to that party. Maybe tonight I might, dibble and dabble. But it's up to you. And this is your college journey. So, have fun, have a good time. But also, you are here for a reason and you only have 8 semesters to do so. That's what my aunt always tells me. You only have 8 semesters to do so. So, you want to do it right.
So we have a Maya back. We had some technical difficulties going on, so she's going to tell us about studying abroad.
Okay. My school, I was able to study abroad my freshman year because they have a program called like Gateway. And with that program, basically, it pays for you to study wherever you want, and it could be like any place that they offer. My school is like really big for their study abroad program, which is the reason why I went there. Um, I don't know what much else to say. I feel like that a lot of people get discouraged when it comes to studying abroad because it's like it's a new culture and you're traveling by yourself. But I would say definitely to go for it. And my school is cheaper to study abroad. So if there's an option at your school to study abroad, especially if it's cheaper, I would say talk to your advisor, your study abroad counselor, the people in the office, get to know them, talk to them a little bit so you can like start your journey with study abroad. Um, and it's really not that hard, like in my experience. You just apply, there's an application fee. I know that a lot of things are different at other schools because people tell me that they have to pay out of pocket for these programs. So I guess it depends if it's like a summer program or semester or something like that. But I definitely would say go for it. You're muted.
I didn't notice that. So if you notice, each student had a particular um experience. Jada, she had college through academic scholarship. AJ, he was, able to go to a HBCU, for singing, and Amaya studied abroad. She also had to log off again due to technical difficulties. But I brought these youth on here. I can't say kids because they're not kids no more, and so that you guys can see that college is. I mean, you can try it, you know, and depending on like each one of them said, your own personal experience, it could work out for you. You just got to be willing and determined to do so. You can come from the projects, you can come from Chestnut Hill, you can come from a tent. If you are motivated enough to go, then go. I remember I interviewed AJ, Lord, I can't even tell you. You still in high school, wasn't And I don't know what he's talking about, but I remember I said, well, how far are you going to go in school? And he said, well, I'm gonna just get my doctor's degree because my parents got it and my aunt got it. And see, sometimes you need somebody to look up to say, hey, if they did it, then I can do it. Because who's to know if it wasn't no Dr. Evans, or I guess I can say Mr. and Mrs. Dr. Evans, or Dr. Roberts, or Dr. Anybody, because I'm sure he was looking at somebody else. He might not have wanted to do that. You know what I mean? Same thing with Jada. I'm pretty sure somewhere along the line, she had some kind of influence. But see, the influence has to come from the parents. And see, sometimes as a parent, you're kind of scared to push your kids, but you have to. Now, I did this podcast on why teens get angry, and I was talking about, pushing your children or whatever like that. It's one thing where you pushing your kids to a degree of harm because they're going to rebel from that. Don't nobody want them to be put in a bad situation. Now, it's another thing when you pushing these kids to a degree of greatness. And don't be worried about the relationship, because these kids, y'all can have a falling out, and the next day they be like, Mom, you got $20. Oh, it's like it didn't even happen. Or they be like, hey, you gonna come to my event or the basketball game, or you're gonna come to me, hear me speak at this law event, or what. That they don't care about that. You understand what I'm saying? So just know that they want you guys as parents to back them, to be right behind them. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't know everything. Now Jada at 25, she got this, she do therapy. Amaya is at George Mason, and AJ is in Howard. Howard, right? I ain't say Harvard, Howard. So they still don't know as much as they will years down the line. Like Jada is learning in her profession, AJ is learning in the courses that he's in, and Amaya is learning in the courses that she's in. Now here's something else. I said I wouldn't really, speak on it, but I think I should, because you can even go to school at my age, and I'm 48. I'm almost double the age of Jada, and I already know I done surpassed AJ twice. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter. I remember I interviewed Mr. Poindexter, and he was telling me about how we talked about the importance of college and how somebody had to motivate him for him to go further in his pursuit of education and for his own career. And it wound up, he wound up getting like a better career opportunity and things like that. From what I can remember from the video, I'll tell you, like my pastor say, just get the tape. So, but what happens is that you need somebody to be the village for your kid. Because if these kids ain't got no village, then they're going to succumb to the streets. And you don't want that. You'd rather be crying when your kid walking down the aisle of a graduation opposed to you crying at a funeral procession. And I'm going to tell y'all, you out of college, you still in there. It's going to get rough. You understand what I'm saying to you? I told you I got this master's degree in psychology, but see, what happened is that I didn't know the program that I was in didn't give me enough credits to apply for my license. So guess what? I had to do it again. Now, when I found out, well, the school wasn't pleased when I found out, but I wasn't too pleased about it. And, I had, people trying to encourage me, my director of education, sending me things about like, Jesus is the way. I wasn't trying to hear none of that. I said, well, Jesus should have showed me the way a long time ago, because I don't want to be in this spot. But see, you have to keep moving forward, because if you don't reach your goal, nobody else will. Because it's your goal. AJ, it ain't your dad's goal, or Maya, it ain't mine. And little mama, it ain't your parents' goal, it's yours. If you decide to drop the ball, they're going to encourage you and say, hey, we want you to do this. And we want you to be great. And see, the things that I'm saying to you guys is that's common. Like you hear that in the household. Like, well, I hear my parents say that to me all the time. Like, be great and I'm proud of you. But look, it's some kids out here where that's not happening to. Schools where you went to, schools where Maya went to, and schools where Jada went to. And it's happening now at Howard, at George Mason. And I'm pretty sure Jada gonna run into somebody where they sitting in her chair and my parents don't appreciate me. But see, that's why parents have to be the village. And it's not an easy job. I don't know you guys personally, but if you guys are giving your parents any slack about them wanting to push you guys to be great, just give them a break, because every parent wants to see their kid be great. If your parents can see y'all be the president of the United States or the first man walking on the moon, I mean, that's what you want to be. You want to have to do that. Then they won't push you to do that. You understand what I'm saying, G? Like, I was talking with somebody today, and this ain't off topic, because I was talking to somebody today, and I said that the parents have to install the hope in the children when they're small. Because if you don't, they can fall victim, and I ain't going to just say to the streets, to anything. Because if you ain't got no hope, it's like you could be convinced to do anything. I could run into one of y'all one day and be like, hey, you want to rob Mr. Smith? And if you ain't got no hope, you with it. But if you say, no, you know what? I want to be a therapist, so I can't do that. Amaya wants to be a lawyer, so no, I can't do that. AJ wants to sing, so, he can't do that either. But if you ain't got no future and you ain't got no goal, then you ain't got nothing. So you willing to do it. You willing to rob Mr. Smith. So I want to thank you guys for coming out. We had some technical difficulties. I see we still having them. I look a little faded out, but we're going to get through it. Oh yeah, I tried that. Oh, there you go. I appreciate y'all time, even through the hold on. Even through your busy schedule, going back to school and work, I appreciate that. Amaya, AJ, and Jada, thank you guys so much. You parents too. I ain't just doing this to bring them on here. And I don't care who parents they belong to. They got the experience that you guys need. So these could be 4 other kids from somewhere else. So don't think I picked them because they special. But we want people out there that's going to make sense to you, so you know what to do. I'm not going to just put 3 other people up here talking about a bunch of nonsense that's going to lead you in the wrong direction. And they know what they're doing. You just heard Jada say she a therapist. This young man wanted to be a singer, and Amaya want to be a lawyer. Now, they ain't standing in front of the corner store talking about they want to do that. They doing it. And that's what you see in the inner city streets. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that either one of those kids, these youth are better than anybody else out here, but you have to do it. So thank you guys for your time. I love y'all, and you guys keep moving forward and keep doing great things. Take care. Enjoy your evening. So I got like 5 minutes left. So um, the devil tried to shut this down, but man, the heck with him. Um, as parents, you have to push your kids. It's no, because at times they ain't gonna want to do it. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't had parents that pushed me, and my mom asked me if I did my homework, and I lied every day. Like, you did your homework? No. And I was horrible at school. That's why I'm in school now at 48. You understand what I'm saying? But as parents, you have to invest in your kids. Children are an investment. It's not just a job. It's an investment. You have to put something in these kids for them to blossom, grow, and develop. It don't just happen magically. You ain't on an episode of the Cosby Show where you in season 1 and then season 5 everybody doing great. Like, even on the Cosby Show, they showing you that you have to put something in these kids for them to develop. So that's why I brought them on here, because I knew they was doing great things, and I just wanted to encourage you guys that you can do great things too. You ain't necessarily gotta go to Howard, or you ain't gotta be a therapist, you ain't gotta be a lawyer. You can go to community college, try to figure out what you want to do, take some general classes, and then maybe from there you can figure out what's happening. But do something. There's too many youth out here getting killed because they don't have any hope. They don't have a dream. Now, if you fine with that, but if you ain't, get on path and stay around some positive people, because the negative people don't want to see you go nowhere, and they'll always tell you that you being mediocre. That's what Dr. Evans taught me when she was on here. It's just satisfactory. Well, she didn't teach me that. She said it's not. They don't play that at their house. So, but it's being mediocre is not satisfactory. You wouldn't want to go into a hoagie place and say, "Give me the mediocre hoagie." You want the best one they got, and that's what you got to do for your kids. You want the best kids out here. So that's all the time I got. Hopefully next week we'll have someone on to talk about what she say? Oh, mediocrity. Mediocrity is not the Evans way. Oh no. Um, Strokes. Please get your health together. Get a better diet. We're really trying to, not only save you educationally but health wise. You can't attend college if your health ain't good. So we want to do that too. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love y'all. Have a great evening. God bless. And